Hello everyone, welcome to my gardening channel. In this video, we talk about the purchase and subsequent treatment of rose pots. Buying rose pots is an exciting journey. Whether you are a gardening novice or an experienced flower lover, roses can add a touch of elegance and romance to your garden or balcony. With its rich colors, charming fragrance and everlasting flowers, roses are not only the darling of the gardening world, but also an indispensable beautiful embellishment in the home garden. When buying rose pots, here are some important guidelines and suggestions to help you make the best choice and ensure that the plants thrive in your garden. Where to buy? The first choice for buying roses is to buy them locally. Visit local nurseries or other stores that sell roses, which usually offer rose varieties suitable for the local climate. You can personally check the health of the plants, consult experienced staff, and get immediate help. In addition, rose pots are much heavier than bare root seedlings. Especially large rose seedlings over 1 gallon. Buying them at a local nursery can save a considerable amount of shipping costs. If you decide to buy roses online, it is best to choose reputable online suppliers such as Jackson & Perkins, David Austin Roses, Heirloom Roses, etc. These companies provide high-quality rose pots and usually provide detailed planting instructions, good after-sales service and a long warranty period. Choose the right variety. First, choose the right rose variety based on your USDA hardiness zone. Climates vary widely across North America, from the warm south to the cold north. And flower lovers in different regions have different needs. Hardiness zone information is usually indicated on the supplier's website or on the roses label. Also, consider the space and layout of your garden and choose the right type of rose, such as shrub roses, climbing roses, or tree roses. Different varieties have different growth habits and flowering periods. Finally, it is best to choose varieties with strong disease resistance, especially roses with strong resistance to black spot and powdery mildew. This will reduce the workload of daily maintenance. Buying time. Spring, March to May, and fall, September to November, are the best times to buy and plant roses. During these 2 seasons, the climate is mild, which is conducive to the root growth and adaptation of plants to the new environment. Try to avoid buying roses during the high temperatures in summer and the cold weather in winter, because planting roses in extreme weather may cause increased stress to the plants and reduce the survival rate. Check the health of the roses. Choose rose pots with healthy leaves and strong stems. Avoid roses with yellow leaves, black spots, or signs of wilting. If possible, gently check the roots. Healthy roots should be white or light brown with no signs of mold or rot. If you buy locally and have a choice, try to choose roses with buds that are not fully open, so that they will acclimate faster and continue to bloom after planting. Many friends don't know how to deal with rose-potted plants after buying them home. Let's talk about how to deal with newly purchased rose-potted plants to help them quickly adapt to the home environment and grow and bloom smoothly. Watering. Roses cannot grow without proper water, especially in May when the weather is hot and the water evaporates quickly. Roses in small flower pots may lack water in less than 2 to 3 days. The delicate flowers of roses need sufficient water support. If the soil is dry and not watered in time, the flowers will wither quickly, greatly shortening the flowering period. Of course, watering should also be controlled. Excessive watering can also cause root rot and plant death. Before watering the newly purchased rose pot, observe the pot soil first. When you see that the surface of the soil is white and dry, and it feels dry to the touch, you can water it. If the surface of the soil is moist, then there is no need to water it. Some flower lovers like to put a water tray under the flower pot to collect the water flowing out of the flower pot. It is necessary to be careful not to let the water tray have water for a long time. It is easy to cause root rot when the flower pot is soaked in water. Pruning. Roses are well known for being medicine jars. Even if the flower greenhouse is frequently sprayed with pesticides, it is inevitable that there will be residual pests and diseases. If the residual pests and diseases are not cleaned up in time, bacteria and pests will gradually multiply and eventually develop into an uncontrollable situation. Therefore, the newly bought rose potted plants must be carefully observed, and dead leaves and yellow leaves must be pruned clean. If there are leaves and branches with obvious spots or insect bites, spray the corresponding fungicide or insecticide while pruning to kill the pests and diseases in the cradle. The flowers of rose potted plants will wither after blooming for a period of time. If the flowers remain on the branches, they will continue to consume the nutrients of the plant, hindering the subsequent leaf growth and bud development. After the flowers wither, the flowers should be pruned in time. When pruning, do not just prune the flowers, but prune from 2 to 3 pairs of leaves under the flowers, and prune the flowers and the branches under the flowers. Doing so can induce the growth of side buds on the branches. And after the side buds grow into side branches, they can bloom a second wave of flowers. Planting. There are 2 main ways to plant roses. They can be planted in pots or in the ground. Different planting methods will greatly vary the growth and flowering performance of roses. When planting roses, choose to plant them in the ground as much as possible. Planting them directly in the soil will allow the roots of roses to spread deeper and grow more developed. For the same variety of roses, one plant is planted in the ground and the other is planted in a pot. These are 2 completely different planting methods. After a year, the difference between the roses is huge. There is no doubt that the roses planted in the ground grow faster and bloom more, because the growth space of roses planted in the ground is unlimited. They can absorb more water and nutrients. The more nutrients they absorb, the more they bloom. If the rose cannot be planted in the ground, the pot should be as large as possible. Do not use pure peat soil for planting. Use garden soil, peat, and a small amount of coconut coir. It is best to mix a small amount of perlite. It is most suitable to mix different base soils together to plant roses. There is also a planting form called semi-ground planting, which is a new maintenance method between ground planting and potted planting. It can enjoy the spacious growth space of ground planting and take into account the convenient management of potted planting. The specific method is to remove the bottom of the flower pot, and then dig a hole with a diameter slightly larger than the diameter of the flower pot and a depth of 1/3 to 1/2 of the flower pot at the appropriate planting location. Put the bottomless flower pot into the dug hole, and then plant the rose in the flower pot according to the potted planting method. Finally, fill the soil around the pot and gently compact it to make the pot stable. Make sure the height of the filling covers part of the pot wall, but do not completely bury the pot. No matter what planting method you choose, water thoroughly immediately after planting. We call this watering rooting water, which helps the rose plants adapt to the new environment. Fertilization. Newly planted roses do not need to be fertilized within half a month. Let them adapt to the new growth environment first. Fertilization will increase the burden on the plants. After half a month, whether to fertilize depends on the ambient temperature. If the ambient temperature is below 35 degrees Celsius, you can use some nitrogen. phosphorus and potassium balanced fertilizers for roses. It is best to use water-soluble fertilizers such as nutrient solution. Water-soluble fertilizers are quick to take effect, easy to control the dosage, and not easy to burn seedlings. Well, that's all for this video. I hope it will be helpful and inspiring to you. If you like my video, please subscribe, like, comment and forward it. See you next time.